This is not a commodity chart. It's a map of geopolitical leverage. Every percentage point on this graphic represents control over growth, technology and defense capability, and inflation. In the next global crisis, the constraint will not be capital. It will not be labor. It will not be materials. This single chart explains why trade wars are escalating, why industrial policy has replaced free trade, and why the energy transition is far more fragile than markets currently price. Let's understand what this chart actually shows. Global mining production share expressed in percentages for critical minerals. Each mineral is shown independently. The percentage represents current annual production, net reserves. Production today equals pricing power today. Reserves only matter if they can be modelized politically and economically. The most extreme concentration risk. Cobalt is the clearest example of single-point failure in the global system. 76% of cobalt comes from the Republic of Congo. What do I care about cobalt? Let me tell you why. It's not diversification. It's dependency, because 9% is from Indonesia and 3% from Russia. 76% of cobalt come from Congo. Cobalt is essential for EV batteries, grid storage, defense electronics, and aerospace alloys. Any political instability, export restriction, infrastructure disruption immediately propagates into EV prices, battery supply, and inflation expectations. Markets systematically underestimate this vulnerability. Keep that in mind. Copper is not optional, right? It's a circulatory system of electrification. Who are the leaders? Congo, 14%, Chile, 23%, and Peru. Every EV requires roughly 4 times more copper than a combustion engine vehicle. EV. Every data center, AI cluster, and grid upgrade compounds its demand. Copper inflation is structural, not cyclical. Gold production reflects political intent, not speculation. China with 11% of reserve, Russia 9%, and Australia 9%. These nations are not chasing yield. They are hedging against sanction, dollar weaponization. Russia, the US weaponized the dollar against Russia. They said, you're attacking Ukraine, then you have no access to the dollar anymore. And say, fine, I'll go see my BRICS friends. And financial fragmentation. Gold remains collateral when trust fails. Lithium. Lithium is abundant everywhere. But the lithium processing is not. 36% come from Australia and 20% from Chile and 17% from China. Extraction is not equal control. China leverages lie downstream in refining, cathode, and cell manufacturing. That is why industrial policy has replaced globalization. Because in the past, we could have everything with everyone. But now, not anymore. Nickel tells us how nations weaponize supply chain. Indonesia is 60% of nickel production in the entire world. Indonesia's exports ban force global reshoring of processing. This is industrial policy in its purest form. Now here's a big one. Rare earth. They're not rare. First of all, you need to understand that everybody's got those minerals. Just that to dig them, the production is difficult. And you know what? Who has 69% of rare earth production in the world? China. United States is second with 11%. Every missile guidance, and did a video on that already, EV motor and radar array depends on this category. This is why export controls escalate quietly here first. Silver. 25% comes from Mexico, 13% from China, 12% from Peru. It's both inflation hedge and energy input. This duality makes it uniquely volatile in energy transitions. Uranium, 39% from Kazakhstan and 24% from Canada. When energy security overrides politics, nuclear will return. It always does. So, in conclusion, what are we saying? Well, this chart tells us four things clearly. 1, supply chains are dangerously concentrated. 2, processing beats extractions. 3, energy transition equals resource nationalism. 4, inflation is now structural and geopolitical. The next crisis does not begin in market. It begins in a mine, a port, a processing facility.